Hi people, Murray here again. As the header of this video states, I'm simply going to give a short message out, or a statement better said, that most people are familiar with, but that they rarely even stop to think about it, in the sense of, what the definition is and whether it really applies or not. It's just a matter of going in one ear and out the other. Um, all good things come to an end, as the header says. All good things must come to an end. But you could practically say all good things come to an end. The same way that pretty much every other thing in existence, pretty much every other thing in existence comes to an end. The same thing, okay? People always are always fed up when good things end, etc., etc., and it seems like the bad things never end. But that's not the case, because it depends on your perspective. If, for example, you work a dead-end job and you're basically where you work a dead-end job and you're basically working that job because you need to pay bills and make ends meet financially, then the days are going to seem long. But that's just it. The days seem long, okay, when you're caught up in a bad situation in general, because an hour is going to seem like a day, a minute is going to seem like an hour, and so on and so forth. The reason for all of that is simply, your perception of the situation. It's a situation that you don't want to be in, so it automatically makes time seem longer than in actuality. But of course, literally speaking, the time moves along just the same. It just has to do with your mental state or emotional state. It has to do with your state of being. Whereas when something is fun, when you find yourself in a fun position, you find yourself in a gratifying position where you're doing well for yourself and you're just enjoying yourself. When you find yourself being in a pleasurable state of being or mind, then the time seems to fly, because pleasure and gratification and all the good things that existence has to offer, they seem short, but it's not that. It's that you keep wanting more. Okay, it's like basically like it's like a hit of dopamine, if you will, so to speak, and you keep wanting more. Okay, pleasure is never gratifying, nor is it ever satisfying. You always keep wanting more, and that's what makes time seem to go by slow. Whereas it's not whereas it's the exact same moment. Okay, it's the exact same time period where it is pain versus pleasure. When you're in pain, time seems to go by slow, but that's just it. It seems. It doesn't matter what state you're in. Time goes by equally fast or equally slow. It's all about your state of being that plays a part. Where with when you're in pain, you don't want to be in pain to begin with. So every second is agony. Whereas when you're in a state of pleasure, then every second is heaven, and you just don't want it to end. You just want it to keep going and going. But bottom line is that all good things must come, just like every other thing pretty much comes to an end sooner or later. Everything has a beginning, has an end. All good things, it's the same thing with all good things. All good things must come to an end, okay? So that means all the fun that you have, or all the fun that you're having with someone, all the good times and all of the comfort and everything that you enjoy, whether it's in a moderate or a minor to an excessive amount or a tremendous amount even, all of these things come to an end, okay? And just like every other thing, even bad things, you name it, does not matter. Everything comes to an end. But I'm specifically discussing good things. All good things come to an end too. So it's not whether they'll end, but all good things come to an end. What you need to remember, okay, and what you need to keep in mind is that you need to it all depends on how you deal with it, okay? Acceptance is the first step. When something ends, don't bitch and moan, etc. You can try to find out why these good things ended, everything and so on. Just basically analyzing the situation as to why it ended. But don't dwell on it the same way that people tend to dwell on the past. Don't just bicker over it. Just move on. Accept the fact. That's the first step. Acceptance. Accept the fact that the good times are over. If in a particular situation, let's just say, for example, you hung out with a good deal of friends, or you were seeing someone and that person was really pretty much the best partner you could ask for or hope for. And it just went on and on and on, and you enjoyed yourself and you simply can't get enough. And all of a sudden it comes to an end. Okay, the first thing you need to do is you need to accept it. I mean, if there are any other if there are misunderstandings or something like that, then fine, that can easily be cleared up depending. But bottom line is that it can be cleared up. But you need to first recognize and accept at the same time when, you know, something is definitely over, as in, okay, we had a good run, but it's over. The good times were fun, but it's over. It all comes to an end. Everything comes to an end. We really had the time of our lives, you name it, blah, 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 etc., but it's over. That's the first thing you need to do. Acknowledge and accept that for yourself, that is the case, okay? You need to acknowledge it first and then you need to accept it, but do both at the same time, of course, or back to back. After that, you simply need to move on. Whatever you have to do in order to move on, just move on. It's that simple. There will be plenty of other good times too, depending on your life circumstances, etc. But bottom line is that you should move on. You had your fun. It was fun. You enjoyed yourself, but move on. It's that simple. I mean, if you intend on having more fun in the future, there will be more fun in the future. Not to come off as religious, but there is a phrase, I think, in the New Testament where God says, all the good things in the world come and go, but my words will last forever. Not to come off as religious, but you get the point behind that statement. Okay, regardless of whether you believe in God or not, you know, it doesn't matter. Bottom line is that all good things in this world come and go. I mean, if you're someone that's the romantic type and you were with a partner that you really loved, okay, and it just ended and you're heartbroken, etc. Newsflash, if after a while, whether it's a week or a month or a year, you will come across someone new and you'll completely forget about the previous person, and it just goes on and on and on. I mean, yesterday, I as a man, for example, there was a beautiful woman I saw 3 days ago. This is just, so to speak, this is just figuratively speaking. Newsflash, that woman's not the only woman on earth, the only beautiful woman on earth. Tomorrow, you'll enjoy another beautiful woman and another one and another one, and it just doesn't end. That's what is meant by the saying, all good things in this world come and go. All the gratifications in this world come and go. Yesterday, it was some delicious meal that you ate in a restaurant somewhere, and you said, this is the best meal ever. You'll be saying the same thing a week after that once you found a new restaurant. It just goes on and on and on, okay? And to the point where when you say the best, someone that knows you can't take you seriously because you keep saying that, okay? Even in my own personal life, you know, I've done a lot of fun stuff in my life. I mean, really, really fun stuff. I mean, I've enjoyed myself to the fullest at 34 years old, and even then, for me, it's never enough. And it's just the beginning for me, so to speak. But bottom line is that there was always something around the corner that I came across that I really enjoyed. It's like a junkie keep looking for the next fix, you know. The junkie thinks that this bag of cocaine is dope and it's the shit. And after a week or a half a year, he comes across another better quality level of cocaine. And he also thinks that that's the shit. And he's going to keep saying that. Bottom line is that, again, all the things in the world come and go. You're done with one good thing because you're bored with it, or it's done with you, or it's both. Okay, you're done with it and it's done with you, and you're moving on, and then tomorrow, so to speak, you'll come across another thing that you'll find intensely gratifying, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, that's what the saying means. Again, all good things come and go. All good things in the world come and go. All the glory in the world, everything, nothing lasts forever. Everything comes and goes, regardless of how that might seem at certain times to not be the case. But all good things come and go. Okay, in that moment you're just too doped up on the gratification in order to see it clearly. Okay, you have no clarity of mind. But yeah, like I said, that's just a message I wanted to put out there. Okay, all good things come to an end. What you need to simply do is acknowledge and accept that good thing that you had is over, and simply move on. When I mean genuinely acknowledged, as in, hey, this isn't a misunderstanding or something. Okay, it's over, you know. It was fun while it lasted, you know, I enjoyed myself, but it's really over. you're through with whatever gave you that level of gratification, or that thing is through with you, and it's not a misunderstanding, it's not just a phase or anything. No, it's basta, through, finito, finished, fini. And what you need to do is acknowledge it, like I said. Step 1, step 2 is accept it, and step 3 is moving on. Of course, this is easier said than done, especially from an emotional perspective, or an impulsive or impulsatory perspective. People, your emotions and impulses just keep telling you to keep going and keep going and keep going, despite the fact that it's all over. But you need to understand that that's not the case. That's why your mind needs to rule you, not your rationale needs to rule you, not your impulses. You need to be able to acknowledge all of this and then accept it and move on, regardless of what you have to do. Okay? And you'll see that in time, it doesn't matter whether it's a week, a month, a year, whatever, things will get better. And you'll see that you'll forget completely about what previously gratified you, because you will have found something else that was gratifying, even more gratifying, or even slightly less gratifying, but it's something nevertheless that you'll still enjoy, and it will keep going on and on and on like that. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. Bye.